Look at that. He's got probably 4 squid following him in. Righto everyone, welcome back to another video, and I'm here at Strictly Squidding Store HQ, and I'm here for a very, very good reason. Now, as a token of my appreciation for all of the support that I've been getting recently, I've decided to do a 10% off discount code, and you can enter thank you 10 at checkout for 10% off all non-sale items. So get in, get your premium quality squid jigs all behind me there. You can get braid, you can get leader, you can get snaps, you can get everything on the store that's not already for sale for 10% off. So thank you guys so much, and hope you guys enjoy this one. Enjoy the gar and the squid in this one. It was yeah, really fun to film. So thank you guys so much. How good is this? Bait jumping in the shallows. We're going out. Squid on the brain. Should be a good one. Let's hope. Wind is up a bit at the moment, but it's supposed to die right off in a couple of hours. Head over to our squid zone. When it's low tide just around here, it's quite good for squid. Drift around at about, you know, 3 and a bit meters of water, depending on how big the tide is. But today, and it being high tide, that sort of zone's around sort of 4 meters. So not as good. We'll head around in the shallow zones out this way, and we'll see how we go. Right, apologies about the wind noise, but we're just coming up to where we're going to start the drift. I'm just going to get ourselves in a decent position, and we'll start our drift here. Now we are in 3.7 meters, and tied on we have the evergreen eggy bancho sort of squid jig here. It's size 3.0. Now this one here is going to be the March squid jig of the month. So if you're watching this in the month of March, this guy will be 15% off on the Strictly Squidding store. And yeah, it's a really, really super effective lure, this one, for this area. I've done very well using this lure in this area, but also it's just a good all-rounder. Like, there's heaps of areas across the Adelaide, Yorke Peninsula, even sort of into Victoria, Sydney. It's a very, very effective squid jig. And the evergreen range, it's known for its quality and its effectiveness. So should hopefully display to you guys this morning how awesome this squid jig really is. So the first drift is a bit of an experimental one, in the way that you're looking for your speed, what way you're actually drifting, because the current and the wind can be sort of fighting against each other, and sort of makes life a bit more, or a bit less difficult, I should say, or a bit more difficult in times, as we are sort of spinning around right now, which is not the best thing. We're just trying out a little bit deeper at this high tide moment. Sometimes on the outgoing they like to push out early, other times they sort of sit and wait around in the shallows for a bit longer. So we'll give it a go in this area. Now, as you could see just then, I was using the 90+ degree angle technique, but when you're casting with the drift, so your line's going slack rather than being held tight, it's a lot harder to do this technique. So you sort of result to going back to your regular technique that you would say on like a jetty. And I do like having a little bit of slack in my line, just so the squid can take it properly without feeling any tension. And rather than sort of feeling, I'm watching my line. So if my line gets taken really quickly, or there's a thump, or it starts sort of moving towards me quicker, then I know that something's got a hold of it. And we've just got a toady coming up and saying hello to the squid jig, which is interesting. Look at him. Oh, he's nibbling it. What an interesting little fella. No love thus far, but in this spot it can be like that, and then you just find a big patch, and that's what we're certainly looking for, is that big school of fish that hopefully we can locate. Not fish I suppose, but squid. Hopefully we can locate that. I'll get you a proper look at this jig here. It really is just supernatural looking. It's nice cleared back with that shiny front there. Sort of looks a bit pilchardy. When I would throw this lure is sort of in these conditions. Early morning, not when the sun is super low, but it's up a bit higher. Clear water, sun's up, even during the day, and that later afternoon is when I'd throw this or any sort of clear underfoil squid jigs. So throw them when the water's clear and when the sun's up, so it can really flash around and get really visible to those feeding cephalopods. Good time of year to use these sort of styles are in that summer time, and we've got one. In that summertime where the sun's up high and you've got beautiful calamari like this guy. I think he's not certainly not small, but he's not big. I think he's just a perfect eater. And we'll see if he's got any mates with him. Oh, and he does. Look at that. He's got probably 4 squid following him in. That is crazy. We are just going to get the squid bucket out here so that we don't get ink absolutely fired everywhere. I'm gonna deploy the squid bucket. How am I gonna do this? Right, the squid bucket has been deployed, and we're going to, hopefully, there's actually a really big squid just following this guy in. That's a lovely eater. I'm gonna get it right back in, and hopefully they're just gonna eat it right there. Oh, he smashed it. Oh yes, how good is this? I'm gonna get this guy in. Oh, he's inking everywhere. I'm gonna get this guy in. Oh. In, and we're gonna plonk it back in right there. Come on, eat it. Eat it. He's seen it. No way. That's so cool. That is so cool. That is so cool. Oh my goodness. I was mentioning before how this spot, there's nothing, and then all of a sudden you find them, and you can find yourself with a lot in a very short amount of time. And there's another one that's just under there. I'm pretty sure that's the 4th one, and he's just monstered it. And just like that, we're on to another one. Oh my goodness. And they're all beautiful eating size southern calamari. Oh, I love squidding so much. That is incredible. Now we'll just hold this guy in the water. I'm pretty sure I only saw the 4 sort of hanging around there, but we'll get this guy in, and because he's the last one, he's going to shoot a fountain. I'm going to give him a bit of limelight there. He's a beauty on the evergreen eggy bancho, and no, there was no more. We got the 4 Cast it out there, see if there's any more, but we'll sort of back around there when we got them following in, but they still sit over this real patchy broken stuff fairly regularly. So we'll see if we can't find any more around here. Might just give it one more cast, just out this way. Now where I am at the moment, it's really shallow reef, but I noticed that there's like a little bit of a basin, a little bit of a hole just there, and it's got some really nice grounds in it. And it's certainly worth having a squiz in that area there. But very shallow, so you need to keep that squid jig working. You don't want to let it sink for too long, because you'll get it snagged fairly quickly. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. He's stalking it. He's got it. Oh, and there's another one behind him. Not big ones, but really good eaters, these little guys. And there was another one definitely in behind him. See if we can get him to eat. Oh, he's right there. Oh, there's two. There's two. Look at him. Oh, he's just smoked it right there. Oh, he's got him under the kayak. No. Get out of it. Yeah, you beauty. Look at this one. This one's the bigger one out of them. Just get him in. And we'll see if the other one is still hanging around. Because he was down a bit deeper, that one. He's a bit more shy. He might be out this side. Give it a little cast. We've managed to pick up a very, very, very small cephalopod here. Look at him. Look at this little fella. This guy will be perfect whiting bait for future videos. I love the little ones for whiting bait. Some people, they sort of might hound me for that, for keeping the real little ones, but squid, they've only got a bag limit, they haven't got a size limit, and they are prolific breeders. So even at that size, squid still sort of have usually bred about once at that size already, and they are really quite plentiful in this area, and they only live for around 300 days. So they're born, eat, feed, grow, breed, and die all within 300 days. So they're usually very sustainable as long as you can keep the breeding grounds intact. So no seaweed sort of depletions or losses. That's when they start to go missing, and they're not showing up in as big a numbers as what they have been in the past, especially around metropolitan Adelaide, where the seagrass depletion has been horrific in the last sort of 60 years or so. We've lost 70% of our seagrass in metropolitan areas, and that's when you start to lose the likes of squid and sort of other fish that rely on those sort of reefy but also seagrassy grounds. But that is a successful drift. I think that is 7 squid on the first drift. Bit of a longer one, but we'll get these guys, give you guys a bit of a look-see in there. Look at them. How good is that? And we'll get these guys in a Ziploc and then in the esky, and we'll start our drift all over again. What has happened here? I've got a toady. Oh, what? See you, dude. Skadoosh. We're gonna stand up, and we're in about sort of 3.6 meters. And with this drift speed, we're going to be casting with it. So going towards the squid jig, or drifting towards the squid jig. So it's going to let that squid jig sink out a bit deeper. When I get a bit shallower, I'll cast so it's drifting with me. So it sits up a bit further and I'm not getting snagged in the shallower stuff. We are drifting in quite quick. Bit of a cast out this way. Open up the bail arm a bit, let it sink. See how we go. It's really quite hard to see in this water. With that sun where it is. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a squid. Look at that. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's got it. Oh, wow. He's aggressively got that. I wasn't really ready. My rod position wasn't in a great spot. We've got another one, and he's a beautiful squid. I love it when you get the real big ones and they just pulse like that. So satisfying. Lucky I sort of hooked him quite well there. How good is that? Get this fella in. That's good aim there. And he seemed like a lone soldier, but we're just going to cast back out. And it's really important, unless you're getting squid consistently, it's important to sort of stagger your cast, a bit like a sprinkler. So you're not just fishing the same ground over and over and over again. Yes, you're drifting, but you're putting loads of pressure on just the back sort of section there. So stagger your cast. Pop one out there, out there, out there. Pop one out there if you've got the depth to fish, and really just fish different zones. And that's where you're going to pick up different schools as well. You're really fishing the most amount of ground that's possible. And we've got another squid on here. This is squid number 9. It's a nice one. Just like about perfect sort of little eater. Plonk him in. Oh, you're kidding. Why is it always the small ones that do it to me? Why is it always the small ones? You little joker. What a little joker he was, doing that cheeky thing. Has sort of slowed down fairly considerably from the first 2 patches that we just found instantly. We've just been struggling to find patches. We've just been picking up the singulars the last couple that we've caught. Having paddled up that way and gone that extra 50 meters, I didn't find any of that sort of productive ground that I was after. So I'm just going to change it up here. I've just finished my drift, and instead of paddling up and doing the same drift over and over again and maybe picking up 1 or 2, I'm going to roll the dice a little bit. I'm just going to paddle pretty much straight out from where I was and then drift a little bit further. Drift some different ground, deeper water, and my actual mark for this spot is out here, because when I originally fished this spot for the first time, I fished it at low tide. So out here, and it was a very, very low tide, out here was that sort of 3.5, 3 meters of water. It's actually a fair ways out. Yeah, there he is. Woo, baby. Now, it might be a different squid, because the one that I got, or the one that I saw, I think was a bit bigger than this guy. Certainly looked a little bit bigger. But he's a beauty. Oh, where's my squid bucket? Uh-oh. Yeah, knew that was going to happen. Cast back out there. Yeah, it looked a bit bigger, the one that I saw down there. So I reckon that's another one that we stumbled across. I think when it's a bit windier and swellier like this, the squid don't tend to really sit in the shallows. It's a bit too washing machiney for them, a bit too much current. Whereas when it's fully glass off, they will sit in, you know, a metre of water, if that, quite comfortably. We're just sort of drifting in those real shallower sort of margins now. But it's definitely worth fishing the deeper sections there. That seemed to be the most productive. I think we'll, oh, yeah, just saw that one coming in behind it. He was pretty keen. It's only another little one. There's squid number 12. I'll just cast back in behind that guy. I only saw just the one, but you never really truly know unless you cast back there. He was hungry too, he raced in, that fella. Okay, just 3 more of the bag to go. We're back out into the sort of slightly deeper grounds and we'll give it a go. Let's see how we go. I tell you what, I haven't been on the water in a little while. Haven't really sort of had a great opportunity to make more content for you guys, but I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. The last couple of sessions I haven't been able to make videos out of. It's been a bit sort of desolate. I've been a bit optimistic maybe in trying to target some more challenging species. But yeah, I've just been absolutely loving bringing content to you guys, and you know, the last video that I posted, the yellowfin one, did absolutely fantastically. I think it's on about 10,000 views at the moment, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Yeah, so I'd just like to say a special thank you to everybody who's been tuning in recently to the channel. It's been an absolutely fantastic couple of years for me, and for sort of what I want to do and getting information out to you guys. It's just amazing. So a massive thank you to everyone who's been not only supporting the channel but also supporting the store. You know, that's another dream that I've wanted to do for a long time, is have my own squidding store, and getting some of the products that not only I use but I trust every single time that I go squidding, and I have full faith that I'm gonna throw the best and give myself the best possible opportunity of catching. And you know, it's just been incredible. And yeah, some more exciting stuff is going to come to that store, so stay tuned. Sort of keep an eye out, follow the Strictly Squidding store Instagram. I'll post all the updates on there, all the sales, all the everything really on there. Is that's your one-stop shop if you're looking at sort of getting some stuff for squidding and supporting me as well. Allows me to get out here more often, which is really quite excellent. So righto, well, a little bit of change in scenery. We're going to change up the target species today. The squid sort of went right off the chew towards the end of the session there, and I was drifting around for no real purpose. So we've come around the corner to where we're a little bit sheltered from the wind, and we're going to anchor up and target some garfish. So hopefully we can get onto a few of these beautiful gar. There's supposedly been some around in recent days, so head out here, anchor up, burley up, then set up and hopefully get onto some of these beautiful gar. They're such an incredible target species for especially younger kids, because they're pretty easy to target, and when they're on the chew they are ferocious feeders, and they will basically hit anything and everything. Just come around, probably just drift out a little bit deeper. I've got about an hour and a half to get as many as possible. Enough that. Probably just enjoy the rest of this beautiful weather that's been put on us today. And what we're going to do, gonna have two forms of burley now. Usually I make my own sort of bread burley, but we've bought some simple garlic and herring blend, which I think it's just almost like a sawdust with the tuna oil or like a fish oil through it. So we've got 2 packets of that. And then in our little burley pot here, I've got some sort of leftover old bread. And this is just an absolute classic for anyone who wants to target garfish. You can see sort of some excess bread and pilched oil in there already. And you just break it up. And this bread is going to act like a sponge for that tuna or pilched oil, whatever we've got there, the fish oil. And it's going to soak it up. There's a few loaves of bread in here. Doesn't need to be anything expensive. Stale bread, even better, acts more like a sponge. Just going to whack that, churn it up a little bit. It's little sponges. You don't really want to press it down too much because that sort of affects the absorption. If I had some old sort of cockles or something that I wanted to throw in, it would be a good opportunity, or some old pillies or something, whack that in there as well. A bit of extra scent. Now, because I'm on a kayak, it's going to be a bit more challenging to do this, a bit more rocky, bocky from the waves. We're going to do this over the water in a really good, helpful serving of the good stuff in there. I'm going to try and not spill that everywhere in the kayak, because that will absolutely stank. And then get the lid back on. And as that sort of starts to really work for us, the gar will start to come racing in, hopefully. And we'll leave that around here just to sit next to us. Already, I'm not even ready yet at all. We've already got gar, and good size ones, in the burley trail. How cool is that? Now that's gonna put a bit more of a pep in my step to get organised. Ideally, I'd be organised already, but we're just gonna tie on a size 10 mustard long shank hook here. Just a simple sort of clinch knot. Some real good size ones like that. It's a beautiful red beak, that one there. Close that off. Tie it up. Love that. Trim off that tag end. Make sure you keep your tag ends, because just throwing them in the water is crap. And our floats are these little suckers. These are little cheapy shore floats, but these things are the bee's knees and my favourite way to target garfish. Righto, and for the main event, we've sort of had a bit of a burley escapage with the bread. That's okay. For the main event, these little gents, and the garfish go nuts for them. And the way that you put them on your hook, they've got a sharp end of the gent, you leave that dangling out, and you put the hook in the blunt end and you just pin it. So they're doing that, they're dancing around, they're wiggling, and they do that underwater, and they become irresistible for a hungry gar. Just like that. And look at all those garfish that were just hanging out there. And this float is a bit it's not made very well, unfortunately, because it is like basically underwater is what this float is doing right now, which is not handy. It is literally moving underwater. We might need to put another float on. Now, unfortunately, all of these shore catch floats actually don't float. So we're gonna have to come up with a bit of an alternative way of getting these garfish, which is so annoying. So we're just gonna have to like cast out just an unweighted gent and hopefully get the garfish that way. like that. Perfect. That's a beautiful gar. And we're able to make do with a pretty average situation. And we've got our first gar on the board, and it's an illegal one for sure. It's a beautiful size for around here. You can't ask for much more than that. How good. Beauty. There it is. South Australian garfish, #1. And we are just sight casting these things right now, and I'm watching them the exact moment where they suck in the bait. How good. How good is sight casting fish? Doesn't matter what fish it is still incredible. Look at how close these gar are to the kayak. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Gar fishing is got to be up there with one of the most enjoyable yet so simple forms of fishing. It is just unbelievably good. Have a look at how close these things are to the kayak. Have a go at it. The tommies are down a little bit deeper. Oh, but just plonking it out in the water there. I've had gar come up to it. One is looking at it, not barring it, or barring it, sorry. One's looked at it, he's chewing, it's in there. There's a garfish. Oh, and there's just no time for these things to fight. So when they get in the kayak, they are ready to do the dance that they so often do. Just fling their scales and garbage everywhere. I don't know how he just missed it, but he did. This one's got it. Another gorgeous gar. How good is he? Just all keeper size as well. It's like I'm selectively choosing the garfish that I want. And oh, Tommy came up. Wouldn't mind one of them. There's another one. Let's get some more genticles on. We only got one left. Oh, escapee. Thank you, sir. It's funny, after you go kayak fishing for gar, you can never complain about a dirty kayak until you've done that. Because these things are notorious poopers, scale flingers. You got gents all through your kayak. It just becomes a health hazard, I reckon, these kayaks after. Look at that gar, look at that, look at him. How good is this? How good is this? No float, no worries. The shore sink floats are no good. I recommended them, but they've let me down. They've let me down big time. Are you kidding, little fella? Get, you go on and get. Wait, chuck that one back out there. By the time I pick it up, there's already garfish on it. One's eaten it, one's spat it out. They're over to it. One's eaten it. And one's in my kayak. How good is this? How good is this? Righto, it's all happening. We've got one just fell off and fell into the kayak, so I just plonked it back out. And as I sort of went to deal with it, another one grabbed on. So we've got, oh, now he flopped out again. So now we're probably going to have another one that just will grab onto it while these two are just flapping their gums a little bit. Like that. Oh, this is a bit silly now. This is getting silly. I haven't even got a float on. I'm just going an unweighted hook and I'm getting this many. You're a decent one. Do you want to eat it right next to the kayak or what? Look at him. Oh. Look at him. It's a crazy amount of gar. It's like staring into a garfish tank. Is out that little bit further. There's one. That's a beauty, that one as well. That's a real ripper. Alright, just relax. He's a very nice gar. Nice and healthy too, these things. These are fat. Oh, he's eating it right there. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and it's another legal one. This is crazy now. This one's got like scoliosis. Look at it. What a weird little gar. It all tastes the same, but that one, yeah, it was a very weird little guy, that one. Right, I've had a quick little count. I've already got 18, so I need 12 more, and we are officially bagged out. So get these gents on, and I'll whack these guys in the esky, and we'll count 12 more. So we get our limit of beautiful South Australian garfish. So we'll whack these guys back in the esky. They are just biting that little bit out, that little bit further. There's the legal one. That's a beauty. If I can get him down. Righto. 12 more after this fella. What a beauty. There's another real good sized one as well. That's a big one too. That's an absolute beauty, that one. I just watched him eat that right next to the kayak. How good. Oh, and they're going freaking mental in here. Righto, just relax. That might be the biggest of the day, that one though. That's a beauty. I'll just change over the gents here. Get some freshies on. Whack the escapees out. Come on, gar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a beauty again. It's another legal one. 9 more to go. We're into the single digits now. How good. They seem to eat it right away, and that's a beauty. It gives them a chance to actually fight casting out the back, which is good. I've got 3 more. Make that 2 more to the bag. And I got stuff everywhere in this kayak at the moment. It's chaos. I wouldn't have it any other way though. That's a beautiful gar though. Be up there with the biggest of the day.